Today, we are talking about a feeling almost every business owner knows. You are busy doing the work, talking to customers, trying new ideas, and maybe even running ads, but growth still feels stuck. The business is moving, but it is not gaining momentum. Customers are coming in, but not enough. People may say they love what you do, but sales are still flat. You are active, but you are not sure if the activity is actually helping.
That is frustrating. And when that happens, most business owners do the same thing. They add more posts, more ads, more emails, more discounts, and add more noise to an already loud marketplace.
But more marketing is not always the answer. Sometimes a business does not need more marketing. It needs a better diagnosis because we need more marketing is often too broad. It might be true, but it might not be specific enough to fix anything. When a business feels stuck, the problem could be visibility. Not enough people know you exist. It could be messaging. People see you, but they do not understand why they should care. It could be the offer. There is no clear reason to act right now. It could be trust. People are interested, but they are not confident enough to buy. It could also be follow-up. Customers raise their hand, and then the business lets the conversation fade. It could be the experience. The marketing makes a promise that the business does not fully deliver, or it could be execution. The plan is not terrible, but it is inconsistent. That is what this episode is about. Not another random list of tactics, not another reminder to post more, not another conversation about chasing the newest platform. Today is about figuring out what is actually keeping the business stuck. Because once you know the real bottleneck, your marketing gets a lot easier. You stop guessing, you stop jumping from idea to idea, you stop blaming the wrong thing, and you start fixing the part of the business that is actually slowing down growth. Let's start with the word stuck. It sounds simple, but it can mean a lot of different things. One business may feel stuck because sales are flat. Another may feel stuck because leads are down. Another may have plenty of leads, but not enough people are buying. Another may be growing revenue, but profit is not improving. All of those businesses may say the same thing. Our marketing is not working, but they do not all have the same problem. Different problems need different solutions. If you are not getting enough attention, you need a visibility strategy. If people are seeing you but not responding, you may need a messaging or offer fix. If people are interested but hesitant, you may need more trust. If people buy once and disappear, you may need to fix the experience or the follow-up. That is why diagnosis matters. Think about it like going to the doctor. You would not want a doctor to hear, "I do not feel good," and immediately hand you random medicine. You would want them to ask questions. Where does it hurt? How long has it been happening? What changed? What have you already tried? Marketing needs the same approach. Before you fix the problem, you have to understand the problem. Here's a simple example. A local women's clothing store says, "Our social media is not working." But when you look closer, people are watching the videos. They are liking posts. They are commenting. Some are even sharing. So maybe social media is working at the first level. It is creating attention.
The real issue may be that the content does not move people to visit. The boutique is showing outfits, but not telling people what is new. It is showing products, but not creating urgency. It is getting attention, but not giving the customer a clear next step.
That is not a social media problem. That is a conversion problem. If a plumbing business says we need more leads, but the phone is ringing, forms are coming in, people are asking questions, the issue is that no one responds fast enough. Quotes go out, but no one follows up. Customers ask for more information, and the business takes too long to reply. That is not a lead generation problem. That is a follow-up problem, and that is a very different fix. So before you say our marketing is not working, ask what is actually stuck. Is it attention? Is it action? Is it trust? Is it sales? Is it repeat business? Is it consistency? The better you define the problem, the better your marketing decisions become. The first possible issue is visibility. This is one of the most common reasons local businesses feel stuck. Not enough of the right people know you exist. That can be hard for business owners to accept because when you are inside the business every day, it feels obvious. You see the sign, you see the customers, you see the posts, you see the work. So it is easy to assume the market sees it too. But customers are busy. They are not thinking about your business all day. They have jobs, kids, bills, appointments, errands, and 1,000 distractions. Even people who like you can forget about you. Even people who need what you sell may not think of you first. Even people who drive by your location may not really notice you. That is why visibility matters. A good business can still be invisible to too many people. A great service can still be unknown. A strong product can still sit there waiting for the market to catch up. If your business feels stuck, ask yourself one simple question. Are enough of the right people seeing us often enough? Not once, not every now and then, often enough. Because visibility is not created by one post. It is not created by one ad. It is not created by one event. Visibility comes from repeated exposure over time. People need to see you enough to recognize you, remember you, and connect you to a need. For a local business, visibility can come from Google, reviews, social media, email, partnerships, signage, paid ads, sponsorships, community events, and word of mouth. But the mix does not matter as much as the question behind it. Are you showing up where your customers actually pay attention? A lot of businesses rely heavily on referrals, and referrals are great. But referrals alone can create a ceiling. A service business may get most of its customers from word of mouth. For a while, that feels like a strength. Then referrals slow down. A few key relationships fade. New competitors show up. Customers start searching online instead of asking friends. Suddenly, the business feels stuck. The service did not get worse. The visibility system was just too narrow. The business had a relationship engine, but not a full marketing engine. That is a big difference. So if people do not know you exist, do not start by tweaking your offer or changing your logo. Start by building visibility, show up in search, in the community, in inboxes, in social feeds, through partners, and in the places where buying decisions are actually being made. Because being open is not the same thing as being visible. And being good is not enough if too few people know about it. Now, let's say people are seeing you. You are getting reach, impressions, website visits, and awareness. People know the business exists, but they are not responding. That may be a messaging problem. A messaging problem happens when people see you, but they do not understand why they should care. This is very common. And it usually happens because the business talks too much about itself. We offer this, we provide that. We have been in business for this many years. We are family owned. We care about quality. None of that is bad, but it may not be enough. Customers are listening for something else. They want to know what the business does for them. They want to know what problem gets solved. They want to know why it matters. A local gym might say that we offer personalized training programs. That's fine, but it sounds like a lot of gyms. A stronger message might be like, get stronger without feeling lost at the gym. That hits differently because it speaks to the customer's real feeling. They are not just buying personalized programming. They are buying confidence. They are buying direction. They are buying a way to stop walking into the gym and wondering what to do. That is the difference between describing the service and connecting to the customer. A restaurant might say fresh food and great service. Again, that is fine, but almost every restaurant says that. A stronger message might be a weeknight dinner that feels special without making the night harder. That speaks to a real customer moment. They are tired. They want something good. They do not want another stressful decision. That is messaging. It does not have to be fancy. It has to be clear. Clear beats clever. Specific beats generic. Customer-centered beats business-centered. If your business feels stuck, look at your website, your social media bio, your ads, and your last few posts. Would a customer understand what you do in 5 seconds? Would they know who it is for? Would they know why it matters? Would they know what to do next? And maybe the most important question is this: could this message belong to any of our competitors? If you could swap your logo with someone else's and the message still works, it is probably too generic. That does not mean you need to be outrageous. It means you need to be useful. Say the thing your customer is actually thinking. Name the problem, name the outcome, make the next step clear. When people understand why you matter, they are much more likely to act. Sometimes the visibility is there. The message is decent. People understand the business, but they still do not act. That may be an offer problem, and an offer is not always a discount. This is important because when people hear offer, they often think coupon or sale. But an offer is simply the thing you are asking the customer to respond to. It is the reason to take the next step. That could be A special, a bundle, a limited time item, a free estimate, a consultation, or a loyalty reward. The point is not always to lower the price. The point is to make action clear and valuable. A lot of marketing creates attention, but not action. Think about a restaurant that posts beautiful food photos every day. People like the photos. They comment. They say it looks amazing, but the restaurant never gives them a reason to come in this week. There is no lunch feature, family meal, seasonal special, event, deadline, or clear call to action. So the customer thinks, that looks good, and keeps scrolling. That is not enough. Marketing has to move people from consideration to action. The offer is often the bridge. For a hairstylist, that might be a weekend styling event. For a tire shop, it might be a rebate with a clear deadline. For a tanning salon, it might be a new client package. For a gym, it might be a 2-week starter program. The details will change by business, but the job is the same. Give the customer a reason to move. If your marketing feels passive, this may be the issue. You may be reminding people you exist, but not giving them anything specific to respond to. Come see us is not always strong enough. Book today is not always strong enough. Shop local is not always strong enough. Sometimes the customer needs a clearer reason. Why now? Why this? Why this business? Why should I take the next step today? That does not mean you should discount all the time. Constant discounting can weaken margins and train customers to wait, but having no clear offer can make your marketing feel flat. A strong offer creates focus. It gives your content something to talk about. It gives your ads something to measure. It gives the customer a reason to act. So if you feel stuck, ask whether the customer has a clear next step. If they do not, the problem may not be attention. It may be the offer. Now let's talk about trust. Trust is easy to overlook because you cannot always see it in the numbers. People may visit your website, click your ad, look at your menu, read about your service, and even like what they see, but they still do not buy. That does not always mean they are not interested. Sometimes it means they are not confident enough yet. That is a trust problem. And this happens a lot with higher price services. It happens with home services, medical services, professional services, financial services, and anything where the customer feels risk. The customer may be quietly asking questions. Will this work? Is this worth it? Can I trust these people? What happens if something goes wrong? Those questions may never be said out loud, but they matter. And if your marketing does not answer them, customers may hesitate. For example, a home remodeling company may get plenty of website traffic, but very few calls. The owner might say the website is not working, but maybe the website is missing the proof customers need. There are no project photos. There are no testimonials. There is no answer to the questions customers are nervous to ask. In that case, the website may be getting attention. It just is not building enough confidence. The customer is not saying no. They are saying, I am not sure yet. That hesitation is expensive because when people are unsure, they delay. They compare, they ask around, they choose the bigger name, they choose the competitor with more reviews, or they do nothing. So your marketing has to reduce risk. That is one of its most important jobs.
If customers ask the same questions over and over and turn those answers into content, if people worry about price, explain what affects cost. If people are unsure about the process, show the process.
Trust-building content is not always flashy. It may not get the most likes, but it helps people buy. And that is what matters. If your business feels stuck, ask whether customers have enough proof to feel safe choosing you. If the answer is no, you may not need louder marketing. You may need more believable marketing. This is one of the biggest hidden growth problems in local businesses. Follow up. Many businesses spend a lot of time trying to get attention. They want more traffic, more calls, more leads, and more people through the door. But then someone shows interest and the business does not have a strong process for what happens next. That is a lot of money left sitting on the table, and not every interested customer buys immediately. People get distracted. They compare options. They need to talk to someone at home. They wait for payday. They forget. They still want the thing, but life gets in the way. Follow-up keeps the conversation alive. Think about a customer in a furniture store. They are looking at a sectional. They sit on it. They ask about fabric. They measure it. They say they need to go home and check the room. That is a warm customer. That is not someone who casually wandered in with no interest. But if no one collects their information and follows up, that sale may disappear. And not because the product was wrong, not because the customer was not interested. The business simply let the conversation end too early. This happens everywhere. Follow-up is not glamorous, but it is powerful. It focuses on people who already raised their hand. That is usually easier than finding brand new strangers. If your business feels stuck, look closely at what happens after interest. How fast do you respond? Do you collect contact information? Do you have a system, or are you relying on memory? This is why email is so important. Email is not just a newsletter. It is follow-up infrastructure. It keeps you in front of people who already know you. It helps you educate customers who are still deciding. It helps you bring back past buyers. It helps you promote timely offers. And a stuck business may not need more strangers. It may need a better way to convert the people who already showed interest. That is why follow-up deserves more attention. It turns missed opportunities into revenue. Sometimes marketing gets blamed for something that happens after the marketing. That is the customer experience. Marketing can get attention. It can get clicks. It can get calls. It can get people to walk in. But the experience determines what happens after that. Do they buy? Do they come back? That is where growth really compounds. If the experience does not match the marketing, the business will feel stuck. The ad says fast, but the service feels slow. The brand says premium, but the experience feels average. And that is where the growth problem begins. A business that cannot keep customers has to constantly replace them. That is exhausting. It also makes marketing more expensive because every month becomes a hunt for new buyers instead of building value from the customers you already earned. Let's say a business markets itself as high quality and personal. That promise attracts customers who want a better experience, but when they arrive, no one greets them. The process is unclear. The staff feels rushed. The customer has to work too hard to understand what to do next. That customer may still make a purchase, but they may not become loyal. They may not refer someone. They may not leave a review. They may not come back. So the marketing created a first visit, but the experience failed to create a relationship. If your business feels stuck, walk through it like a first-time customer. Search for yourself on Google, visit your website from a phone, try to book an appointment, call the business, send a message, look at the signage, watch how customers are greeted, look at the checkout process, read your reviews. You are looking for friction. Where does the customer get confused? Where do they wait too long? Where do they feel ignored? Where does the experience fail to match the promise? Marketing cannot outrun a weak experience forever. It might create short-term traffic, but the business will keep leaking customers. So if you are stuck, do not only look at the campaigns, look at what those campaigns are sending people into. The last issue is execution. This one can be hard to hear because sometimes the strategy is not the problem. The idea is good. The channel is right, the message is close, but the execution is too inconsistent to work. A business posts for 2 weeks, then disappears. It sends one email, then waits 2 months. It runs ads for a few days, then turns them off. It asks for reviews for a week, then forgets. It tries one video, does not go viral, and decides video does not work. That is not enough time or consistency to know what is possible. Marketing needs repetition. It needs testing. It needs measurement. It needs patience. That does not mean you keep doing something forever if it is failing, but it does mean you need enough data to understand why it is failing. For example, a business runs Facebook ads for 1 week and says Facebook does not work. Maybe that is true, but maybe the offer was weak. Maybe the audience was wrong. Maybe the budget was too low. Maybe the creative did not stand out. Maybe the landing page was confusing. Maybe leads came in, but no one followed up. The platform may not be the issue. The execution may be the issue. A business may say Instagram does not work, but the posts are random. The captions are vague. There is no local angle. There is no offer. There is no proof. There is no call to action. The only thing it proves is that the current execution is not strong enough. A lot of small businesses are not short on ideas. They are short on connected execution. They do a post here, an ad there, a flyer here, an email there, and a sponsorship somewhere else. Each thing lives by itself. Nothing builds, nothing compounds. A stronger marketing system connects the pieces. The offer connects to the ad connects to the landing page connects to follow-up. Follow-up connects to the sale connects to the review, the review builds trust, the trust helps the next customer buy. And that is how marketing becomes a system. When execution is random, every tactic has to work alone. When execution is connected, each piece makes the next piece stronger. If your business feels stuck, ask whether the plan is consistent enough to work. Is someone responsible for it? Is there a calendar? Is there a goal? Is there measurement? Is there enough time to learn? Or are you changing direction every time a new idea shows up? Sometimes growth does not require a completely new strategy. Sometimes it requires doing the right things longer, better, and more consistently. When your business feels stuck, do not start by asking what tactic you should try next. Start by asking where the bottleneck is. If not enough people know you exist, it is probably visibility. If people see you but do not care, it is probably messaging. If people understand you but do not act, it may be the offer. If people are interested but hesitant, it may be trust. If people raise their hand but do not buy, it may be follow-up. If people buy once but do not come back, it may be experience. If the plan keeps stopping and starting, it may be execution. That simple diagnosis can save you a lot of wasted time because the wrong fix can make the problem worse. If you have a trust problem and you only buy more ads, you may just send more people into the same hesitation. If you have a follow-up problem and you generate more leads, you may waste even more leads, and so on. That is why the diagnosis matters. Marketing is not just activity. Marketing is problem solving. Growth comes from solving the right problem in the right order. Here's what I would do this week. Do not launch something new yet. Map the customer path. Start with the first moment someone hears about you, then follow the path all the way through the sale. What do they see first? What do they understand? What are they asked to do? What proof do they get? What happens if they have a question? How fast do you respond? What happens if they do not buy right away? What happens after they buy? What happens 30 days later? Then pick one bottleneck. If visibility is the issue, focus on being seen by more of the right people. If messaging is the issue, make the benefit clearer. Do not try to fix everything at once. That is how business owners get overwhelmed. Pick the biggest leak, fix that first, then move to the next one. That is how momentum starts. Not through random tactics, not through chasing trends, not through copying competitors. Momentum starts when you find the real problem and remove the friction. So here's the big takeaway. When your business feels stuck, do not automatically assume you need more marketing. You may need better visibility, clearer messaging, a stronger offer, more trust, better follow-up, a stronger customer experience, or more consistent execution. The answer depends on the bottleneck. And once you find the bottleneck, your marketing gets a lot easier because now you are not just doing more. You are fixing what matters. Before you add another tactic, figure out what is actually stopping the sale. That is how stuck businesses start moving again. Thanks for listening to Mastering Local Marketing. If this episode helped you think differently about your marketing, follow the show on Apple Podcasts and share it with another small business owner who feels like they are doing a lot but not seeing enough growth. Until next time, we'll see you later.